He just examined Alfredo. How is he and what's the problem?
He's doing well. The concern was that he had a fracture over his left eye. It was tender and there was some sponginess to it, so that was the concern. We worry about orbital fractures because they can entrap the eye, and we didn't want there to be a problem, so immediately goes to the hospital to get that evaluated and treated if that's the problem.
All the rest of his condition is stable?
Everything else is fine. It was just that eye that was the concern.
How painful is something like that, and what can you do for it?
He said it was painful. It would be a surgical issue if, in fact, it was fractured. But it's exquisitely painful, and that's why he stopped, because of the pain.
Doctor, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Back to you, Brian.
All right, Jim, thank you so much. Again, the very latest and everything we can at least report to you. Again, how painful is it? Exceedingly painful, at least for Alfredo Angulo, for him to turn his back after a tremendous night in the ring against Arislandi Lara. Let's go back ringside. Time now for the main event.
All right, Brian, we are coming to you tonight from beautiful Southern California and the Home Depot Center in Carson, California. Following a terrific tilt, we are set for the main event in a much-anticipated battle. This one has the hallmarks of an all-action affair as Marcos Maidana meets Josesito Lopez.
Fight fans from Home Depot Center here in Carson, California. Fight fans from the Home Depot Center here in Carson, California. We have arrived to the main event of the evening. And now please welcome to the ring from Riverside, California, Josesito Lopez.
...2012 was the year that Josesito Lopez put himself on the boxing map, taking a fight with Victor Ortiz on short notice and earning the moniker Riverside Rocky for pulling off the biggest upset of last year. That victory earned him the biggest payday of his career. Unfortunately, outgunned against the bigger and better Canelo Alvarez, but his heart, his willingness to do battle against any and all comers puts him in the main event tonight, Al, against Marcos Maidana, and the ingredients are in place for a fight that should be at least as good as the one we just saw.
We expect a tremendous fight. One of the issues for him is he's coming in off an 8-month layoff, and he's not been active. He hasn't fought more than twice in a year since 2009. So dangerous times early for Josesito Lopez against the big puncher.
I'll tell you, I'd hate to be the fight after such an action-packed fight.
Taking it to the ring from Margarita, Argentina, Marcos Maidana.
Paulie, normally I would agree with you, but tonight we've got Marcos Maidana and Josesito Lopez going against each other.
And I agree with you 100% more. I was going to make that point, but Joe Martinez had announced Marcos, so I got cut off halfway. But in reality, if there's a fight that could supersede that action, you are right. It is this one.
The noted knockout artist Maidana, 2-1 at welterweight, coming off a third-round KO victory in his native Argentina, where boxing these days is on fuego. He defeated Angel Martinez in December. He moved up to welterweight in February of last year. Things didn't go well against Devin Alexander, but since then, back-to-back victories, including a very entertaining victory over Jesus Soto Caras here on Showtime. The knockout king against the gutsy Josesito Lopez. We are set for what should be a tremendous tilt. Let's go to the tail of the tape for this welterweight war.
As you take a look at the numbers, the height and reach advantage for Lopez in this case could be something he might utilize. He's a slugger, we know that, but he does want to box at long range, and he would like to occasionally punch, 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 take a walk.
So we are set for the official introductions. Once again, here is Joe Martinez.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from sold-out Home Depot Center here in Carson, California, this is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds scheduled for the WBA Intercontinental Welterweight Championship. Presented by Golden Boy Promotions in association with Goose and Tudor Promotions, Thompson Boxing Promotions, and Showtime. And sponsored by Corona Extra, La Cerveza Más Fina, and AT&T, Piensa Sin Límites. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, the chairman, John Frierson. Executive officer is Andy Foster. And the WBA, President Gilberto Mendoza, and supervisor in attendance, Robert Mack. The physicians at ringside, Eddie Yeyu and Paul Wallace. And your timekeepers in charge of the bell and counting for knockdowns, John Reinschmidt-Lichte and Willie Arriola. Presenting our judges for this contest, all from California, Carla Kais, Jerry Cantu, and Max DeLuca. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Dr. Lou Moret. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the judges are ready and the fighters are ready. Mexicanos, dile al mundo. Fight fans, make some noise and let the world know you are ready. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks, he hails from Riverside, California. Weighing in officially 145 pounds, this veteran brings 30 victories, 5 defeats, 1 no decision, and 18 big wins by way of knockout. Please welcome the former NABF Super Lightweight Champion. Here is the hard-hitting Josesito Lopez. And next to the opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red with black, he hails from Margarita, Santa Fe, Argentina. Weighing in officially 147 pounds, this ring veteran brings an outstanding record that stands at 33 victories, 3 defeats, and 30 big wins coming by way of knockout. Currently ranked the #2 WBA welterweight contender. Here is the former WBA Super Lightweight Champion of the World, Marcos El Chino Maidana. Once again, your referee in charge with the final instructions, Dr. Lou Moret.
Maidana. Okay, gentlemen, I'm giving you instructions going to me. Y'all need a regla. We have a good clean fight. Una pelea limpia. Shake hands, wait the bell.
It's fitting that we have a doctor as a referee, Dr. Lou Moret, because these two warriors have promised to put it all on the line, have promised to punish each other, to entertain the crowd, and assert themselves in a very competitive division, the welterweight division. The wick has been lit. We are underway with the main event between Marcos Maidana in the red with black and Josesito Lopez in the white with black and gold. The 152nd professional round of Maidana's career. This is the 201st round as a pro for the Riverside Rocky.
You know, in the last fight that we saw Maidana against Jesus Soto Caras, his relatively new trainer, Robert Garcia, worked on him using the jab more. He landed 22 jabs in the first round, his high of his career. Let's see if he continues that in this fight.
He's recorded 10 first-round knockouts. 27 of his 30 wins via form of KO have occurred inside 6 rounds. Meanwhile, Lopez has 5 first-round victories to his credit.
Both guys look coming out establishing the jab, huh?
So a little boxing. Why not?
Ooh,
stinging right hand by Lopez.
Set up by the jab.
And we see the height and reach of Lopez. If he can use it effectively, it can be very effective. Remember, Devin Alexander used that as he boxed Maidana, and Maidana's move up to the welterweight.
Yeah, his first fight.
Yeah, Alexander dominated him.
It worked so well that Maidana thought, hey, I'm going to try this boxing stuff.
Why not?
Minute and a half gone in the opening round. Overhand right connects by Lopez. He's been the more effective in terms of the power shots early on. Good movement by Lopez. Of course, Maidana's quote was he wanted to get into a brawl. If Lopez is willing, this is going to be a toe-to-toe slugfest from start to finish.
So far, Lopez boxing a very smart first round.
A minute, under a minute remaining in the opening frame. And thus far, it's been the tale of two jabs with a couple of nice right hands by Lopez, but there's a right hand by Maidana, and in close, oh, and Lopez with a right hand, and talking to Lopez's trainer, Henry Ramirez, Al, he was talking about the fact that Maidana, as we saw against Soto Canas, can be chippy at times, and he said, you know what, we're going to fight fire with fire.
Well, that's if he does some illegal things. That was a nice legal right hand by Maidana, and let's say that's the big punch they have to worry about.
Oh, and a nice combination by Lopez, three-punch combo.
That's the thing about these guys. They can try to box each other, but their natural instinct, as soon as they start hitting each other, is to fight.
Left hook to the body by Lopez. So perhaps a sign of things to come in the opening 3 minutes here in Carson, California.
The equalizer in this fight, many people believe, would be the right hand, especially by Maidana. And that was a beauty. Boy, he throws a great right hand. But Lopez, as is his wont, even after taking a left hook, himself will come back with an overhand right. And then later in the round, again, Lopez would repeat the action on the inside with a right hand as he set up with the jab and then cuffed him with that right hand. So when you make Josesito Lopez fight, he will fight.
Lopez started boxing at 8, had around 70 amateur fights. Maidana started boxing at 15. He had around 80 amateur bouts. And round 2 begins.
We talked about Maidana like running the jab. 44 of his 58 punches were jabs, and they're getting at it here in round 2.
Right hand lands by Maidana again at close quarters. They tussle along the ropes. The referee, Dr. Lou Moret, breaking them apart. Double jab from Maidana. Reigning trainer of the year, Robert Garcia in Maidana's corner. Henry Ramirez, who actually had Lopez stay with them during this training camp. Lopez has been through some tumultuous times in his life as well, as we have documented here on Showtime. His father was incarcerated on drug charges, then deported to Mexico, just across the border. They see him on occasion.
And while they're trying to get him that deportation thing turned around, Lopez said, during my training camp, I don't think about that, I don't deal with that. That'll come after.
See Lopez trying to box Maidana here, but he's a little bit jumpy, like he wants to do more. And that's the temptation for a guy who's not used to boxing, who's used to slugging, yet is trying to box intelligently against a guy maybe he shouldn't slug again.
And Maidana, like fighters Floyd Mayweather and Miguel Cotto, right hand connects by Lopez. Maidana started his own boxing promotion in Argentina last year, and Lopez backs him up in the corner.
A little chippy there again.
This can't not be fun tonight. Now Lopez, I think, has underused the jab a little. Here comes Maidana cornering him.
Oh, Lopez stuns him with the jab, and now exchange. Lopez in trouble in the corner. As they tussle, they're wrestling here. Lopez wanting to crowd Maidana. Maidana punching his way out.
He turned Lopez around with that right hand.
And the bigger Lopez wanting to muscle Maidana, lean into him. But Maidana fighting out of it.
Yeah, I think he was trying to smother him there. I think that he felt that hook.
Under a minute remaining in the second stanza. Then around for Maidana. Coming forward. Left hook to the body by Lopez.
This is looking like the kind of fight Maidana wants. Even though it's been very evenly fought over these first 2 rounds, the pace of it and the way it's being fought, I think is what Maidana wants.
Under 30 seconds remaining in the second round. Lopez, the fan favorite. Maidana putting pressure, left hook by Maidana, right hand connects. And another right hand, Lopez getting tagged here in round 2.
I think Lopez is going to start fighting real soon, guys. He's trying to box. He's trying to hold on to the game plan, but it's getting harder and harder.
The jab finding its mark. Great round for Maidana. Interested spectator Israel Vasquez involved in one of the more memorable trilogies. I know he fought Rafael Marquez 4 times, but and the third fight was right here at the Home Depot Center back in March of 2008. So Vasquez on the outside looking in tonight, one of the great warriors in boxing history.
We go back to what was a memorable round here in the last round, and this is where Maidana lands just a big right hand. Now that went off the top of the head of Lopez, so it hurt his equilibrium, I think, and then Maidana keeps punching, of course. And toward the end of the round, Maidana trapping Lopez against the ropes and ripping punches. And again, the overhand right is a big weapon. And he is having a hard time. Lopez is keeping him off during the course of those rounds.
The bell in round 3 begins here at the Home Depot Center. Record crowd in attendance. Mauro Ranallo along with Al Bernstein and Paulie Malignaggi ringside. Maidana in the red with black. Lopez sporting the white with black and gold trunks. And again at close quarters. Rough housing, trying to punch out. Lopez stings Maidana with the jab, but it's Maidana, triple jab and straight right hand, Paulie.
And that's the thing, man. It's Josesito trying to establish the boxing here, but if Maidana starts to land his own jab and straight punches, well, it's going to be difficult for Josesito to win even trying to box. Even if Maidana boxes with it.
Yeah. And Maidana doesn't want to box anymore.
Yeah, of course, especially once he starts to land those kind of shots.
Right hand by Lopez, lead right connects.
That's the thing. These guys are not going to be shy about unloading offense, and they're both pretty hittable, to say the least.
The plan for Lopez, and Henry Ramirez said it, don't be greedy offensively. Land punches, take a walk. Land punches, take a walk. It's, as Paulie pointed out, that's just not something he does all the time.
That's the difficult part.
Yeah.
Lopez on the ropes. Maidana coming in and connects with a right hand.
See, Lopez starts to box, but then his instincts are to let go of winging shots like that.
And Lopez uncorked a looping right hand that found its target. Maidana with the double jab, straight left hand to the body by Lopez.
The question in this fight will be, can Lopez hurt Maidana or at least stun him to stop him?
He just hurt him with a right hand. Final minute of the third round. Lopez catching some of those punches with his gloves, but Maidana swarming him aggressively on the attack. Maidana sneaks the jab through the guard, left hook to the body, upstairs with the right hand. And Maidana beginning to, and Lopez says, hey, bring it, I like it, let's go. And there's Lopez coming back with a combination of his own.
And that's the thing, Lopez not shy about fighting.
Forget about boxing, he's more interested in brawling.
You might as well go out on your shield here. And Lopez said, you know what, I'm a fighter.
And that's exactly what he did against Alvarez. Ramirez wanted to stop it after round 4. Lopez says, the least allow me to go out on my shield. And that's what he did. A great start to this fight. And someone who knows about great fights, Abner Mares, taking in the action, the featherweight champion. And a huge fan favorite in this part of the world.
Early in the round, Marcos Maidana landing the power punches that are his signature. The right hand, this one's straighter than normal, and then a jab that hurt Lopez. And once he got Lopez on the ropes, of course, he rips those shots. Lopez trying to tie him up. Later in the round, though, and here's the significant thing about this, we asked, could Lopez hurt Maidana with something? Well, he landed some big power punches toward the end of that round, punches that I think may have had some kind of impact on Maidana, that right hand specifically. And he pushed him back. If he can continue to do that, it might not even be going out on his shield. It might be coming in on his shield.
Exactly, Alan. It's almost like Maidana was like, whoa, you started fighting.
Yeah, what's that about?
I expected this in round one.
That's not right.
Lopez likes to counterattack off the ropes. We've seen in the past that he possesses a dangerous right uppercut. We saw it against Victor Ortiz, now utilizing the jab. Maidana responds in kind.
You know, the last 4 opponents of Lopez have had a record of 102, 3, and 4, a combined record. He's been in against tough men.
And now Lopez hurting Maidana along the ropes. Maidana trying to avoid the attack, but Lopez connected.
You know what? Lopez's main instinct is to fight, and he's having much more success fighting than he is when he's boxing. He might as well fight. It's better for him, and it's better for us.
And Lopez unleashing another 3-punch combination as we take a look at the total power punches.
Both men landing power punches, and now it's Lopez.
Look how even this is.
Yes, that's staggering. We asked, could Lopez hurt Maidana? We have our answer. He can.
Incendiary ingredients in place for a combustible contest, and they are blowing it up here. Round 4, under 2 minutes remaining.
This is the 4th fight at welterweight for Maidana, and he's finding it difficult right now against Lopez, who, of course, is relatively new to this division as well.
And left hook, got to the body, the left hook upstairs, staggers Maidana. Lopez lands a right.
Lopez hurt him to the body.
Maidana, he's hurt the body. Ruling it. He did rule it a knockdown.
Wow. But Maidana went to hold. He went to hold because he was hurt from that body shot. That's what caused him to slip to begin with.
Maidana has been down on the deck 5 times in his career. Lopez 4 times, and Lopez storming back here in round 4.
Now Maidana forced to be the boxer, trying to use that jab that they've worked so hard on to keep Lopez at bay.
That's the thing. It's hard to recover from those body shots. He's still recovering, I'm telling you. He's not looking to overthrow too many punches right now.
I would say the crowd is trying to blow the roof off this place, but there is no roof. We're in the great outdoors. And fistic fireworks on display at the power punches. In this round thus far, a huge edge for Lopez.
Well, he has landed some amazing shots.
He shut him out practically.
Counter right hand there. Still showing some timing as well as the brawling.
Double jab as well. 30 seconds left in the round. And there's a jab from Maidana. Maidana not panicking, using the jab again, trying to find the distance, but gets tagged twice with a straight right hand by the Riverside Rocky.
2 of them.
And another jab, and Lopez. It's all Lopez in round 4. A couple of left hooks to the body.
Wow.
What a fight, what a night here in Carson, California.
Sit down. Let's breathe. Nice and deep. Breathe nice and deep. This is nothing. This is nothing. Calm down. And you have to go inside. You're giving him distance. If you give him distance, he's going to tag you.
We look at early in the round where Lopez took over in this fight. Started landing big shots, pushed Maidana against the ropes. Now, this was not called officially a knockdown, but he got hit with a big body shot there, and Paulie rightfully pointed out he's probably hurt. And then we end up having kind of a slipping action, and Maidana falling down. Now here, that's where he's going down, but he was hurt clearly before that all happened.
5th round underway. Lopez was the captain of his high school cross-country track team. He won state championship his senior year, but turned down a track scholarship to turn pro as a boxer. Paulie, you can never accuse him of wearing his track shoes in the ring.
No, absolutely not. He's all fighter, man.
Of course, Maidana's been running into a few of his shots, and Maidana looking to bounce back here in round 5. A man with potent punching power. 30 of his 33 victories have come inside the distance.
Well, don't count Maidana out. This is a guy who was down against both Victor Ortiz and Amir Khan and gave them both hell.
He was down 3 times against Ortiz.
He rebounds
Unofficial
well.
Showtime scoring through 4 rounds.
We are all in total agreement. And Steve, why do we see this as a draw?
Both guys have had so many great moments of power punching. I never thought Lopez could win this type of fight against a bigger puncher in Maidana.
And Lopez beginning to assert himself again with the combination punching. Maidana coming through with the left and the right through the guard. But it's been Lopez busier and more proficient.
There's a slight adjustment on Lopez's part. He's still using his legs for defense, which is good because it's throwing Maidana's timing off. Yet when he gets offensive, it's not just the jab and a right hand. He's unloading a violent combination every time, and that kind of controls Maidana.
He's doing what Ramirez wanted, throwing punches that matter, then moving, and it's working for him right now.
Exactly. While early on, he was moving, but he wasn't making the punches count when he would land them.
A minute 11 left in the 5th round. A back and forth battle, just as anticipated, between Josesito Lopez and Marcos Maidana. Lopez came in 2 pounds under the welterweight limit, but so far hanging in there with Maidana, who is 2-1 at 147. Remember, Lopez started lightweight, went to junior welterweight, jumped up 2 weight classes to face Alvarez, but looking very comfortable here at 147 as Maidana back on the attack.
Let him go. Suéltalo, suéltalo. Break.
This has been a pretty competitive round.
A right hand by Maidana hurts Lopez.
Yeah, and that was evidence of it right there.
Oh, a couple of ripping left hooks to the body. The uppercut by Maidana. Lopez on the ropes, needs to get out of there. Maidana teeing off.
This is what I mean about Maidana. He comes back.
And Lopez unable to counter off the ropes as we've seen him do in the past. Maidana putting the leather on Lopez here in the final seconds of round number 5.
He rolled that right hand.
An attendance record has been set tonight here at the Home Depot Center. 8,629 fans here to watch these welterweights, and boy, have they gotten more than their money's worth with the co-feature, and of course, thus far here in the main event, a very electric atmosphere as we head into the corners.
Hey, don't get lazy with that jab. He's looking to time you. I need to start changing up. Mixing some feints now, right? Lead with the right hand, but I need you changing it up, all right? That's your breathing, man. That's your breathing. How are we feeling? Good, good. Listen to me. Hey, hey, hey. Give that round away.
See, that's the round. When you attack and then hold him, because he's going to come back at you. Jab, jab, and then keep hitting him with that. And keep moving, lateral movements, okay? That was a good round.
So, Paulie, a good round for Maidana, but they want a little more footwork, a little more movement.
Well, yeah, you know, they got to keep it. They got to keep Josesito guessing.
And now, what about Josesito Lopez absorbing punishment along the ropes, but really showing that he is both a boxer and a brawler?
Well, we talk about the right hand of Maidana, but the left hook to the body helped set things up.
And there's that right hand from Maidana on cue, and here's a furious exchange. Lead left hook by Lopez. Maidana backs away, still working behind the jab, not forgetting the basic fundamental. As we take a look at our social media from Sammy J, already a top candidate for Fight of the Year. There have been many of them here at the Home Depot Center, and I cannot argue that point, Al.
And a lot of great fights already this year in boxing, but we knew this one would rank with them in terms of a brawl.
Oh, the right hand drops Lopez for the 5th time in his career. On the temple. Short-circuited his thought process.
A long time left in this round.
And again, he gets hurt with another right hand and another right. Lopez bouncing off the ropes. Maidana mauling Lopez.
He's got a hold, guys.
And Dr. Lumaret steps in. He has seen enough. Maidana records his 31st knockout win.
I don't know that he was so hurt.
I was going to say, Paulie.
But you got to hold. If you're not going to punch back, you got to hold in that situation. The referee doesn't know.
I will say it once, and I will say it until the day I die, Al. I'd rather see it stopped one punch too soon than one punch too late.
He was taking a lot of big shots, and you can certainly understand that stoppage for Marcos Maidana, a comeback victory after absorbing big punches.
Fantastic night of fights, culminating with a tremendous battle here as Marcos Maidana defeats the always game, the always gutsy Josesito Lopez, and he sets himself up for a major payday at welterweight.
Yeah.
And maybe against you, Paulie Malignaggi.
You never know, and I'll tell you what, I don't think anybody's going to complain about seeing him again as a fan.
Now, Marcos Maidana, of course, a very action fighter, and that bad outing to inaugurate himself as a welterweight against Alexander, but since then he's been very excited.
I know they're in different weight classes, but could you imagine him and Lucas Matisse, two Argentinians in Argentina, my man?
Yeah, they're talking about that, and at some point that is a possibility. Maidana was able to completely turn this fight around in this last round. And it was the right hand, that one to the body, but the overhand right is such a tremendous weapon for him. And in this case, it sent Lopez down. And the key to this, as we take another look at it, is that it was so early in the round, there wasn't time for Lopez to recover.
The first right hand to the body, the second one to the head.
Yep, almost a double right, really, if you will.
Gets you thinking about it.
And we look at it again, Paulie, and the power he has in that right hand is extraordinary.
Yep. Oh, and it landed flush.
Left hand low for Lopez, and as we pointed out and we showed you, the right to the body helped set that up. Then Josesito Lopez, who is a brave warrior, but was getting nailed with punches like that uppercut. And wasn't holding, as Paulie pointed out, and wasn't really punching back. And I think the fact that he was stumbling and getting that last right hand gave
great stoppage.
Yeah, gave Lumaret the idea that this fight should be stopped, and I think it would be hard to argue with this at this juncture. And
Maidana was lighting up Lopez.
The overhand right of Maidana, if that punch gets in against you and you're 140 or 147 pounds, you've got a problem, and Lopez did. What a tremendous fight, and that young man, Lopez, is a very, very game fighter, but the 31st knockout for this man.
Marcos Maidana caps off a memorable night of fights. Let's go to Jim Gray with this report.
Hey, Mo, I just spoke to the referee, Dr. Lou Moret, and he said that he felt he had to stop the fight because he felt that Lopez was just taking too many punches, that his hands were coming down, and that he wasn't fighting back. And he felt as though he was 1 or 2 punches away from really getting hurt. Mo?
Thanks a lot, Jim. We are ready with the official decision. Let's throw it up to Joe Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we make it official, please, one more time, put your hands together for the true spirit that was displayed inside the boxing ring tonight. We had 2 true warriors going toe-to-toe for nearly 6 full rounds. The official time of the stoppage comes at 1 minute, 18 seconds, round number 6. Your winner by KO victory, and now the WBA Intercontinental Welterweight Champion, Marcos El Chino Maidana.
In a year that has seen the sport of boxing serve up many memorable battles, we have witnessed 2 more terrific tilts tonight as we take a look at the final stats.
You know, both these men land power punches at a great rate. Lopez landing at 42% and did have Maidana hurt at certain points in this fight. But of those 33% and those 110 punches landed by Maidana, the big ones were by him.
You see the pain on Josesito Lopez, and he's just one of those fighters, Paulie, that you can't help but root for. The heart, the guts, and I mean, can he still go down to 140?
he might be able to. He weighed in 2 pounds light yesterday. The thing is, he's never in a bad fight, so you always appreciate him.
All right, Jim Gray standing by with both warriors.
All right, Mo, thank you very much. Marcos, congratulations to you. Felix de Jesus will translate. How were you able to absorb so much punishment yet come back and win this fight?
¿Cómo ganaste esta pelea después de recibir tanto puños de parte de Josesito?
Bueno, no me hicieron mucho daño los puños. Sí me hizo daño un golpe que me pegó acá en el huesito de la cintura y no me dejaba caminar. Y por eso yo temía que me vuelva a pegar ahí, entonces me esperaba, no atacaba.
Some of the punches that he was hitting, he was controlling. It wasn't that hard. But the one that he did hit him in the left hip, that one did hurt him a bit.
Did this fight go as you expected?
¿La pelea fue como tú lo esperabas?
Sí. A pesar de ese golpecito que me dio de abajo, después salió todo como esperábamos. Igual fui medio dolorido al rincón y Robert García, que mi entrenador, me sacó adelante, me puso un poquito de agua fría ahí y me alentó y tuve que salir, sí o sí, con corazón.
He definitely thought that's how the fight was going to go, although that punch he received in the left hip, that worried him a little bit, but Robert Garcia helped him out through that round and told him to keep fighting.
Take a look at the monitor, if you would, right here, and let's take a look at the knockdown and then the stoppage. Tell us what was going on.
¿Qué está pasando en este round aquí?
Ahí fue mi primer golpe bien puesto.
That was the first good punch that I gave him.
Did you feel as though the stoppage was correct? Do you feel as though Lopez had nothing left?
¿Tú pensaste que el referee paró la pelea a tiempo? ¿Que el referee estaba correcto?
No sé, yo me quedé con ganas de pegarle, pero bueno, si la paró, él sabe lo que hace. Muy buen trabajo.
He said that good job by the referee, but he still wanted to fight some more. He still wanted to hit him more punches.
Let me ask you what you would like to do next. A lot of people might like to see you fight your countrymate, Lucas Matisse. Is that something you would like to do?
¿Qué va a hacer ahora? Mucha gente quiere ver que tú pelees contra Lucas Matisse, tu compatriota.
Ajá. Bueno, sí, eso se viene hablando hace mucho tiempo ya de esa pelea, pero no hay ninguna oferta, nada, no está nada concreto, así que yo de eso no hablo.
They have been talking about that fight for a long time, but there's nothing concrete. There hasn't been an offer made, so he doesn't know if that's going to happen.
All right, congratulations to you.
Bueno, quiero mandarle un saludo a mi hijo Jojo, a mi familia, a todo Santa Fe, y bueno, a Buenos Aires, toda la Argentina.
He wants to say hi to all of his family in Santa Fe, Argentina.
Congratulations. All right, Josesito, first of all, how are you? You okay?
I'm doing good. Buena pelea, Chino. Buena pelea.
What did you just say, and what did he say back?
It's a good fight. He's a professional. We're both professionals. We did our job in the ring, and everything back to normal outside the ring.
Al Bernstein and Paulie Malignaggi said during the fight that it seems to be your instinct to want to fight, and when you started to fight and got on track, it seemed in the third round that you were able to hurt him and get on track. Did you feel as though you were able to change the direction of this fight and starting to control it somewhat?
Yeah, I felt like I was doing pretty good. Really, I thought the stoppage was a little premature. You know what? He stunned me. He hurt me a little bit. But we're professionals, and if they've seen us fight, they know we can fight out of little situations like that.
It appeared as though, at least to Dr. Lou Moret, that you were defenseless and not fighting back. Why did you think it should not have been stopped?
You know what? I got stunned. I got a little buzz. That happens throughout the fights. I can fight my way out. If I'm not down for the count, I felt like it was a little bit early. I should have let me fight it through.
Let's take a look at it and tell us what was going through your mind and how you were trying to recover while this onslaught was going on, Josesito.
He caught me with a good over right hand that stunned me. Yeah, they got me with a good over right hand that stunned me, but I didn't feel like I was out of the fight. I covered up, but I was still in the game.
You lost against Canelo, moving up in weight. You moved back down now to 147. What would you like to do next? Where do you go from here?
You know what? We got to go back to the drawing board. But I'm a 147-pounder. This is where I belong. I knew I fought one of the tougher fighters in the welterweight division. I know that, and I knew what I was up against. I trained real hard, and unfortunately, the fight didn't go our way today.
Thank you very much. We're glad you're all right. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's go up to Brian Kenny at the host desk.
Jim, thank you so much. Wow. I mean, wow. There's so much to digest. There's so much to look forward to. And And let's take a look first at the scores and what we had here. The judges' scores first here is Mauro and Al, you're up here with me now. Your thoughts on what you see at the time of the stoppage. Amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting that Lopez winning on 2 of the judges' scorecards. And, you know, he had good moments in many of those rounds. So, but, you know, they had him ahead on 2 of the scorecards, but it was a moot point. And on our unofficial scorecards, we all felt that Maidana had pushed ahead in this fight, and if he was ahead, in any case, it was a very well-fought, well-contested matchup.
You know, Brian, if I could interject, in the interview Jim Gray did with Josesito Lopez, and we talked about it during the fight in the Alvarez fight, where he wanted to be able to go out on his shield. I understand the warrior mentality, but when we look at the replays, I think it was a very good stoppage by the referee, and I understand Lopez's disappointment, but sometimes fighters have to be protected from themselves.
No question about that. You heard in the interview as well with Jim Gray there with Josesito, you know, having to explain why he thought it shouldn't be stopped because he has the heart of a warrior.
Wow.
Let me just preface as well what I was just saying was that it really isn't amazing that Lopez could have been ahead on those scorecards given what he was doing in the middle rounds. We're going to have a full discussion on what we saw. 2 stoppages there by referees, both seemingly very, very good stoppages and quick stoppages as well. And we'll look ahead at what's ahead for the winners, the guys who are in the winners bracket, as it turns out. First, though, here's what's coming up ahead in the month of June here on Showtime.
Stalking and killing people. It's what I do. The one thing I've always been good at.
I shot the wrong person in that trailer. Without psychopaths, mankind wouldn't exist today.
There's a lot of mankind that doesn't exist because of them.
Why don't you go back to your little life and pretend like everything's fine? But I can't do that because I am not like you.
You got a name?
Ray Donovan.
Jesus, Ray Donovan?
Hell yeah, you the man.
If Donovan goes down, he comes back harder. The bag or the bat? Everybody be nice.
All right, let's take a look at the big night of boxing here in Carson, California. All right, so it started a little less than scintillating, but it was a good night for Jermell Charlo, having to outbox a very good boxer in Demetrius Hopkins, a clear-cut decision. And young Jermell Charlo is now 21-0. Good experience for Charlo and a good win. Our next fight, it was all action. Alfredo Angulo and Erislandy Lara. Lara boxing beautifully. Angulo then knocked him down in the 4th round, knocked him down in the 9th round. But in the 10th, Angulo takes a shot over the eye. Massive swelling immediately. Possibly greater injury. We've yet to hear more on that. He turns his back and the fight is stopped. And Erislandy Lara has a tremendous win over a very game Alfredo Angulo. And then in the main event, Marcos Maidana against Josesito Lopez. It seemed early that Maidana had way too much firepower. Josesito Lopez, though, and this is what he does, wills himself back into the fight, was hammering Maidana, but then late, Maidana dropping right hands, dropping Lopez. Referee Dr. Lou Moret jumps in and stops it, and it is Marcos Maidana with a knockout win here tonight in Carson, California. It was scintillating. Tonight's Showtime Championship Boxing will have several re-airings. In case you missed any part of tonight's action or you want to watch the fights for a second time, and I think you might want to do that, check out the replays on Showtime and Showtime Extreme. Marcos Maidana leaving a winner here tonight. Boy, he had to earn it. Some big, big shots he had to eat from Josesito Lopez. You see him shaking his hands as he had to leave tonight. Big smile there from Robert Garcia's trainer as well. Back up here now with the guys. Al, let me start with you. What's amazing to me as I try to digest all of this, we have most of Paulie's friends up here to say hello.
It's amazing.
Is that there were real moments where I thought Angulo and Lopez were going to take the night, and it turned out exactly the opposite.
And this is why, that first fight, especially Angulo-Lara, is why you don't want to reduce fights to stereotypes. Yes, Angulo knocked him down twice, and yes, Angulo was the aggressor, but Lara was landing very pinpoint combinations as a counterpuncher, and ultimately one of those left hands, and make no mistake, there is no thumbing in boxing. That was a legal punch. The thumbs are tied together. He landed a beautiful left hand. It landed on the eye, and it got Angulo out of there. And Angulo's a warrior. He would never have quit.
Paulie, it's funny how you come up with these things. Well, who has been through this sort of thing? Against Miguel Cotto, you had your orbital bone broken, correct?
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about what Angulo may have happened to him there and experienced?
A lot of pain. That's what happened. You know, even if it was a thumb, I don't think it was intentional. It didn't look intentional anyway. But sometimes the thumb does get in your eye, and sometimes it lands even unintentionally. You know, nowadays we have thumbless gloves or thumb-attached gloves, unlike the old days. But still, it is possible to get thumbed accidentally. And I will say again, I'll reiterate, it's very painful. I mean, I don't knock Angulo for not wanting to continue. And I know I had that same injury. It was very tough to continue in my situation. Every individual is different. A lot of pain, though.
Yeah, and getting to the main event tomorrow, I mean, you could really sense where Lopez was throwing those long, strafing right hands, where it looked like Maidana was getting smaller and smaller in there before he came back. What was your sense in the ebb and flow?
I thought exactly the same thing. The fact that Josesito Lopez wanted to box, but he was best at what he is at the core, a brawler, a fighter. And both of them had their moments, Maidana coming back to stop him. But I just want to take a quick moment and say, while I may be very low on the proverbial totem pole at Showtime Sports, is there any way we can hold all of our events at this venue? Brian, please? I mean, this has been an amazing night of fights, and this venue here is absolutely perfect for boxing. The fans were amazing.
There's no question. It's like a ball game out here, and it's really nice. We want to have a dog and, you know, and watch the fights, and we did. But you are not an executive for Showtime Sports. I've just been reminded. All right, so what's next here? Give us winner's bracket, Al.
Well, you know, in the welterweight division, which is heating up, we have, of course, Paulie Malignaggi and Adrian Broner next. What Marcos Maidana has done for himself is, after that disappointing initial welterweight fight against Alexander, he has shown us that at this weight, he is a force to be reckoned with and has added, I think, a lot to that division. And at 154, Lara has shown us that he can do everything. He can punch and he can box.
Lara, I guess, is a guy, Paulie, you really won't want to mess with, right? If you're thinking Cotto, if you're thinking Austin Trout, guys who can really box, but that guy can box, and as Al said, he's really throwing meaningful shots straight up the middle.
Yeah, he's an intelligent boxer, a lot of poise, even through that. That was a hellacious pace at times, but he stayed calm, he stayed poised, and he got his man out of there. He definitely belongs to be mentioned among those guys like Cotto, like Canelo, and like all those other
But I ask again, and I said it earlier, Brian, during the broadcast, Cotto is coming back later this year, and yet he's coming off back-to-back losses, albeit against Floyd Mayweather and Austin Trout. Lara said before the fight, if he wins, he wants Cotto. I'm just wondering, does Cotto want Lara?
It's a tough schedule. It's a tough schedule. I wouldn't advise Cotto to take on such tough fighters first fight back.
All right, so Paulie from here, you can tell, by the way, there's broadcaster Paulie and there's fighter Paulie. You're very polite, you're well-dressed, all of that. In 2 weeks, we look forward to seeing you in the ring, and best of luck to you, our friend.
Sir. And you better be ready, Adrian. You told me to be ready. You better be ready.
That's the fighter, Paulie.
That's
there
it.
It is, right
Kept
there.
it polite.
You better be ready.
Very good. Good job, Paulie, Al, Morrow. Thank you so much, guys. Coming up next here, it's an encore presentation of 60 Minute Sports. 2 weeks from now, Saturday, June 22nd, Showtime Championship Boxing back at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. The WBA welterweight titleist Paulie Malignaggi taking on Adrian Broner, the #1 lightweight in the world. Then Saturday, July 13th, future Boxing Hall of Famer Bernard Hopkins defending his light heavyweight belt against mandatory challenger Karo Murat of Germany. Saturday, July 27th, another Showtime triple header. Andre Berto squaring off with Jesus Soto Caras in the main event. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. We sure did here. Beautiful night just outside of Los Angeles. For Al Bernstein, Mauro Ranallo, Paulie Malignaggi, Steve Farhood, Jim Gray, and our entire Showtime crew, I'm Brian Kenny. Good night from Southern California.